T, you want to jump right into it? We were just talking about the nature of journalism and
The
how
nature of
journalism has
journalism.
changed. T has
It
has what
has.
I've described as a little bit of a hot take. Hit me.
Journalism has shifted from the working man's profession to the profession of the elites. And I think that that is a founding principle of what has gone wrong with journalism, because we're no longer getting the perspective of the working man. Now we're getting the perspective of Jenna Bush and Anderson Cooper, who are children of multimillionaire and generationally wealthy families. So the type of information we are getting and responding to is both coming from a different source unrelated to the communities that they're reporting on. Combine that with the digital age where it's all about getting the clicks. It's becoming even more of an elitist sport because who gets the clicks are the famous celebrity children.
Yeah.
Like almost every actor that you see is a descendant of a celebrity actor.
Right.
So I find that to be problematic with journalism, and that's why we're not getting the type of journalism that we should be getting in order to be properly informed as a community.
Yeah, at least at the mainstream broadcast journalism level. We're not talking about how technically any blogger can call themselves a journalist and start covering their, what's happening on their street or something like that. We're talking about what's most available for the most people and who
Correct.
have they decided to give the big budget to and the major time slot to. It's Anderson Cooper. It's a person that
right. It's the Chris Cuomo's, right?
Yeah.
Right.
These people that are part of the ilk, they grew up going to the same country clubs as the people who run the company that is putting on this broadcast show and the company that owns that network. They've all been going to the same country clubs. So you've got Comcast owns a news network, the news network. So there's a president of that, and you have the producer who runs this TV show, and then you have the lead talent of that TV show who's getting paid a lot of money to come on there. But everybody within that space knows each other. They're very familiar, and when they choose to put that person in there, T, would you say that person is essentially chosen?
They're tapped.
Yeah.
Right? They're tapped to be part of this elite club of well-paid TV personalities, which is not the same as being a journalist. This is not the era of Barbara Walters. This is not the era of Armin Port. This is not the era of Walter Cronkite. This is not the era of information. This is the era of clicks and fame and celebrity. And because we keep making inadequate people rich and famous, by default, we're giving them power to make decisions for the body of us.
Interesting.
I predict the Kardashians will go into politics next.
Oh yeah, well, Kim's trying to get that law degree. She's trying to pass the bar without
going to law school, which is legal and possible. You just have to be sponsored by a law firm or a law institution of some sort that will sponsor you and basically allow you to do almost like a work program where you work with the law firm or the law institution and do practice bar exams and then just take it without having to go to law school. And I think that's good and bad. I think real world experience is invaluable, but at the same time, I think law school gives you the foundation and the principles you need in order to be an effective lawyer. But again, the rich and the wealthy and those who have access to resources and have a network, they get to bypass things. And
I'm surprised she actually failed her first baby bar exam. I assume she would have just paid someone to take that test for her, and she would have paid the bar people to make an exception to their standard test taking practices.
I'll tell you why I don't think she's going to do that with this. And I think it's because of her dad. I think there is a legacy she wants to build. And I think that legacy is built on her being an attorney. And she can be an authentic attorney without going to law school, in all fairness. And I don't think she wants to cheat through that. I think it has something to do with carrying on the mantle of her dad, the attorney Kardashian, who worked on the O.J. Simpson case. And that's, I'm going to say she's going to do it herself. Okay. I can't speak to any of the other ventures the Kardashians are into, because I literally don't watch any show that they've ever been on, and I've not bought a single product of theirs. I do respect their work ethic. For rich girls, they keep working. Those are not lazy women. Yes,
Okay,
they
but the
started
work
on
that
third
they
base.
do doesn't require, like, they don't have to go and rehearse lines. They don't have to go and practice dance steps. They don't have to take voice lessons and get in the studio and record. It's just reality TV show time. We go get our makeup. We know what the general storyline is, and we just ad lib and pretend like it's real. And then you know, my photo shoots and my appearances and my photo ops and this and that.
Yeah, but
You know what I
they
mean?
have
Like,
what?
actors
Makeup
gotta
lines,
go. You got to do a
clothing
million
lines.
rehearsals before you actually get to the movie star part, where you're shooting the movie, and even that is can be grueling.
Yeah, but I mean, those girls have a lot of different types of ventures. I mean, I don't want to like them, but I tell you what, I do have to respect their hustle.
I
They
respect
could
the fact
chill.
that
They
they were
could
smart
chill.
enough to put good, smart people. They were smart enough to put smarter people around them. So
They
I
were
do
smart enough
respect
to
their
put smarter
business
people around them.
acumen.
Absolutely. Absolutely. There's no disputing that.
But like,
There's
they're
no
not the ones
disputing.
breaking down the financial statements and running the strategy of their brands, with the exception of Chris.
Right.
Chris is like an
going through those
overall
numbers.
PR genius, right?
Yeah,
That's the mom.
absolutely. Absolutely. I mean, she turned a sex tape into a family dynasty. I ain't mad at her.
Right. But like,
I
I don't
want
think
to be. I
I don't
want to
think
just like
Kylie's
them.
breaking down the financial statements of her Kylie Jenner products. I think she's just kind of she's white labeling it. Another company is producing and manufacturing this and marketing it, and they've paid her for her name. She's getting royalties and everything works. But she's smart enough to pick the right people to partner with.
She's smart enough. They're all smart enough to pick the right people to partner with. Very few of their ventures have failed. I mean, other people have come and gone. Shit, Trump has failed more than the Kardashians have.
That's a very good point.
And they move as a unit. And I respect a group of women who move as a unit.
That's another good point. They don't have controversy slip to the media unless it's designed and planned.
Right. Somehow they've got enough control of their environment and their situation where they have been able to maintain control of the narrative and have somehow remained interesting to the public. I mean, they've been on TV almost 20 years.
They've been able to.
Not many shows have. Yeah, not many shows have lasted for 20 years. Starting in the 2000s on, very few shows have lasted 20 years.
Mm-hmm. So do you think potentially one of the next steps is you get like a Anderson Cooper style news show with one of the Kardashians?
Possible. Absolutely. They want to legitimize themselves as not just being an entertainment family, but an intellectual family. And the only next step after fame and money is power and politics. That's it. That's all that's left. Or royalty, I guess. But that you need to be, it's a different perspective on how that's viewed and how that's measured. So for now, they will be our celebrity royal family since the Kennedys have quieted down.